You know I'm the cook. I like to cook in the family. My wife loves to bake.
For the holidays.
I don't mind baking, but she's the baker, much like you. She just generally loves to bake. Like, brings her joy. And I usually help her, like, in a supporting capacity. I don't mind baking. I don't love it. I do all the things she doesn't want to do.
You cheerlead.
I cheerlead. I'll hang out with the laptop and make some snide comments and help her clean stuff. Fine. I love it. For the holidays, she makes boxes of cookies for the folks that we like. So you just get all these variations of cookies that she bakes all in the month of December.
Wonderful.
And they're delicious.
Yeah.
She has this relatively new chocolate chip cookie recipe that is delicious. However, you have to refrigerate the dough for like 3 days. It needs 72 hours of refrigeration.
Oh, wow.
To like allow all the flavors to melt. And it really does seem to make a difference. So she's making the chocolate chip cookie dough, of which if I had my way, I would eat all of because I love chocolate chip cookie dough.
None would ever make it in the fridge.
So she's making all the chocolate chip cookie dough and she's made a double batch. So it's big. I'm loading it into this big Tupperware storage container to put in the fridge. And like, it's just barely fit. Like, it's there. And she's putting the lid on and she's like, oh, like this lid's not, I don't think I can make it fit. I can't. She's trying to make it fit.
Sure.
And I just look at her and I go, you squeezed into those jeans. I'm sure you can make that lid fit. And
do you need my couch?
she just looks at me and she's like, yeah, as you shove cookie dough into your face, fatso. And I was just like, fair enough. Fair enough.
Wow. This is a harsh house.
That's like that's an I love you day right there.
Quiet, please.
I stand by and I'm supportive as my wife calls for takeout food.
In 4, 3, 2.
Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense Season 2, Episode 44. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Jiddle.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, we'll catch up on some of our most popular episodes from the year, sort of a nonsense wrapped, if you will.
So everybody can remember all of the things we've said again.
It's National Oatmeal Muffin Day. If there's such a thing as a superfood, oatmeal is it. Rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, including magnesium, iron, zinc, and B vitamins, it lowers cholesterol and blood pressure and makes your stomach feel full and happy. So why not celebrate the day by choosing whole grain oats to eat in the form of a muffin? Delicious and great for you.
So you're shilling for Big Oat now, huh?
Bob's Red Mill, the best oats on the planet.
Bob. You're shilling for Bob.
I'm 100% shilling for Bob.
Man, we are digging deep when the day is the National Oatmeal Muffin Day. But whatever. It's the last one of the season. I'm going to just let it go.
I wanted to end on something delightful.
Well, I would be remiss to not mention that yesterday was National Answer the Phone Like Buddy the Elf Day. I hope everybody participated in that because that sounded lovely.
How was your week going?
Oh, my week always great. I had a cocktail party, like a holiday cocktail party, and to support some of the new people in the group, they had you write your name and your favorite Christmas or holiday movie on your name tag.
Fun.
There were a lot of like Home Alones and Christmas Stories and Elf
Sure.
and the like, typical Christmas stories. Now, if you were in this position, what would you have gone with? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Could be White Christmas.
Good question.
Or It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
You ever seen It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is great.
Yeah.
I really love It's a Wonderful Life. My first thought, though, was to go with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
Because if I had to pay crazy Uncle Randy Quaid a quarter for every time I've said, shitter's full, I'd be broke. So that's like high on my list.
It's quite quotable.
But I felt Christmas Vacation felt like it was sort of phoned in, right? Because like everybody knows it and they sees it. So what do you think I went with if I was in this position? If you were there with me?
Home Alone.
No, that's the boring one. I went with Die Hard.
Oh, sure.
Because like, how can you not put down Die Hard? Like Die Hard's great. And then it created this whole debate that I didn't expect. Like a third of the cocktail party where people are like, Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. And I was like,
yes, it is.
What? I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, it's not a Christmas movie. And I was like, I'm willing to die on this hill. Like,
oh, sure.
Fortunately, one other party goer showed up with Die Hard on his name tag as well, unprovoked by me. So clearly he is my people. Anyway, so it's been great. I'm looking forward to getting through the craziness of the holidays and back into our sort of consistent, familiar groove at nonsense in January.
Fantastic.
How about you? How's your week?
This is the last episode of Season 2, so next time I see you, CJ, on January 9th, everything will be different. Big changes for Season 3.
Did you find a new co-host finally? Did you get that Roomba to talk? Is that what you did?
For example, instead of sitting here at the table, we're going to sit over there on the steps about 5 feet away so that you don't hear our drinking cups banging around so much on the table.
But these chairs are so comfortable.
I know, but I think it's going to be better sound-wise if we're sitting over here.
Yeah, definitely.
Not on the ground, but on the steps. We might like it, maybe we'll hate it. We'll see.
All right.
It's like it's barely even the same show.
Well, let's see what happens.
Let's get to our headlines.
Let's do it.
The New Jersey drone hysteria exposes one salient truth.
Yeah.
No one knows anything.
That's what it took? It took a bunch of drones for us all to figure out that we're all idiots?
Well, someone does. Obviously, whoever's flying the drones knows something.
Sure.
But in the absence of knowledge, everyone has a theory, which is awesome.
Sure.
I'm kind of hoping they're like crop circles. You remember crop circles?
Yeah, of course.
The farmers were making the crop circles cocktails and
So
pretending they're like made by UFOs or something.
The UFOs came. Please come visit us.
If you don't know the story, look it up on the Google machine.
It's crazy when you think about that. There are people listening to this show that might not know the crop circle story, but we should definitely put in a link.
It's so great.
You say someone must know, people flying the drones. I believe the drones just built themselves. This is just Terminator.
They're AI drones.
Yeah, a little ChatGPT version 5 got out of the lab and it went full Wuhan and just built some drones and launched some drones. That's what I think happened.
Jeff Van Drew, an actual member of Congress, believes that an Iranian mothership anchored at the Jersey Shore launched the drones. He said it on Fox News. And a day later, he walked back the whole thing because that Iranian ship was actually found in Iran.
Odd, weird for it to be over there.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the fact that what has been said about this publicly from the government is like, everything is fine, nothing to worry, tells me pretty clearly that they know what it is.
Of course.
And it is completely benign. Because if it wasn't benign, we would have long since shot that shit down.
Well, Donald Trump said shoot them down, which, by the way, is 100% illegal.
That's what we need.
Super dangerous in a densely populated place. Don't shoot at the drones.
You know what we don't need is fucking Snooki and the Situation heading out with like their weapon of choice to try to shoot down a bunch of drones.
Sure.
And here's the thing that I'm shocked when I talk to people and I explain that bullets come down at the speed at which they go up.
They have to.
And they're just like,
sure.
Huh? And I'm like, fucking physics. It's not hard. But people's brains are broken. I'm like, you shoot that thing in the air, it comes down somewhere. There's no way you could be flying these things. And maybe they're autonomous. Maybe someone's flying them. We don't know. But I guarantee you someone somewhere in the elected chain has looked at this and said, this is okay.
If they're amateur drones, you have to be able to maintain line of sight.
That's a nighttime requirement though, right? That's specifically at nighttime.
Correct.
At daytime, you can fly wherever the fuck you want.
The drone operator can't be very far away if it's an amateur drone. They can only go up to 400 feet anyway. They're limited in height.
Yeah.
And amateur drones, as well as commercial drones, are constantly broadcasting their ID number.
Yeah.
So you could know where they were in space.
Yeah.
There was a closed-door briefing on the drones Tuesday.
Okay.
The White House pressed Congress to provide more authority to address drones in U.S. airspace.
Do they call him Scully and Mulder?
Yes.
Like, that's what it sounds like they should be doing. The smoking man, right? Like, that's... Here's the thing. I don't know what, 10, 15 years ago, damn near every American got a super high-quality video camera in their pocket.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there are no more videos of UFOs. It all just fucking went away. They don't happen anymore.
Intel has a win. The ARC B580 GPU is selling out after stellar reviews.
They finally got something, huh?
I'm going to promote the win. Intel will be restocking these things shortly.
Sure.
It wasn't even a low volume run for bragging rights. They actually sold out a full run. They've got a hit product.
I can't believe how far we've come where now this is the thing we have to celebrate. Oh my God, Intel has a selling product.
It's a budget GPU. This is a financial win for them. This is not a technological win.
Built on new 4-centimeter technology. Like, did they say centimeter? Like, I'm pretty sure they said centimeter. Okay. I don't think we've written the last page on Intel yet, but man, they've got a long road to hoe ahead of them. To my shitty recollection, Intel has never really had a GPU win ever before. So that's mildly interesting to me.
Well, mostly they've tried to bundle them into their chips.
Shove it into the chip. Yeah.
The Supreme Court will hear the TikTok ban arguments in January 10th specifically. This is determining whether TikTok is booted out from the United States on January 19th or if they're allowed to stay.
What's interesting about this to me is that the Supreme Court has said that the lawyers for TikTok have to do the floss dance the entire time they're doing their arguments.
I like that.
Wouldn't that be fascinating?
I would watch the hearings.
I would tune into that. Exactly. I guarantee you C-SPAN would do more viewership than the fucking Super Bowl if they made them all do the floss dance.
I want the judges to have to do it too. Whoever is speaking has to be doing the floss dance.
I would much rather have like Alito like channel Trebek when the attorney stops doing the floss dance, he's like, I'm sorry, you have to continue with the floss dance while you make your arguments.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I think the Supreme Court needed to take this up.
It's TikTok's only hope. We were going to boot him on January 19th. Now, Trump may not have
hope.
the Department of Justice enforce the law, in which case they could just stick around.
Not their only hope.
Lost luggage? Share your AirTag location with the airlines. Apple is making it easier for passengers to track down lost luggage with a new facility that lets you share your AirTag location with airlines.
So this is super cool. Let's also be clear here. You must first put the AirTag in your bag before you leave. I don't want to gloss over that step.
You got to have the AirTag in your bag.
Your bag's gone. They're like, these assholes on nonsense told me to share the location of my bag. It's like, well, you didn't. You got to step number one is put the anyway. Apple has now allowed you to share you can share temporary access to the location of an AirTag with anybody.
It's a loaded link.
Yeah, it's a link that's got a time expiry on it.
Yeah.
Several airlines now have allowed you to submit that URL so that they can help track your bag.
Yeah.
I've been putting AirTags in my luggage for a while now, and usually just because I like to giggle when I see it get on the plane. I'm like, it's on the plane.
And make sure it actually gets on the plane. There's another part to this story. They're going to change the radios.
Yeah, better radios. I think they're doing the ultra wideband, which should almost triple the range from
which is great.
I think right now roughly you're talking about 10 to 30 meters. I'm a big fan.
Can't get here soon enough.
They're great. They're relatively inexpensive. I put them in all my stuff. I've tried to figure out how to get them like stapled to my kids, and it's good to know where they are. It is worth pointing this out though, because people don't know this about AirTags. They do not work independently. What makes AirTags work is the network of iPhones that are around, not your phone, the network of other phones, right? Anonymous phones. So your AirTag is not going to do anything if there are no iPhones around.
Okay, enough of the headlines. Up next, we're going to revisit and update some of the more popular stories we've looked at this year.
Oh, updates like Windows updates. This is going to be fun.
Well, you're going to have to wait around, and then we're going to
have to wait. We know you want to listen to the show, but we're just going to sit here and be like, and 92% and 93%. Nonsense 3 is booting.
Let's go. I can't believe we're here. It's the end of the year.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. We are at the end, and it seems like there's a lot of the year left. But for us, this is the end. Next time I see you, you'll be a year older.
I will be, and probably 20 pounds heavier.
You'll be having birthday.
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun to revisit and update some of the more popular stories that we've talked about during the course of this year, and some from last year.
This is like when I'm walking around the street and people are like, hey, tell me about the space junk. I'm like, just listen to the fucking episode.
But there might be some new information. There is actually some new information about space junk. There was a new collision that caused there to be a whole bunch more space junk.
Always. It's going to be the future.
I want to start with a happier story.
Sure.
In April of this year, we talked about some ineffective drugs, nasal decongestants that actually don't do anything.
Oh, I thought you were going to mention how everybody thinks I'm on cocaine now because I make 2 cocaine references in the show.
So many people ask me, does CJ do cocaine? It's a joke.
Have you seen him? He's as fucking big as a house. If he's doing cocaine, it's not the good stuff. Jesus. No, he does butter. That's what you should tell him. No, he's high on butter.
You would not want to see CJ any more wired than he is.
Exactly. My natural state is pretty much a 9.5 out of 10 on the wired scale.
Ineffective drugs, nasal decongestants.
Yes. So this was about phenylephrine.
Yes.
So phenylephrine was a replacement for a drug that worked.
Pseudoephedrine.
That worked very well, called pseudoephedrine. Yeah. Pseudoephedrine, we moved, it's still OTC, but we moved it from the shelf where you can get it to behind the counter at the pharmacy. So you don't need a script.
Yeah.
You just need a pharmacist to hand it to you. And the reason is they track how many you purchase so you can't overbuy, because the belief was
you're making meth.
Go buy a bunch of this and you could make meth. Yeah. Anyway, so makers of oral decongestants and cold remedies reformulated their products to contain phenylephrine. So we did this story, I think this was like April of last year. This is a product that is sold under names like Sudafed PE. And this is the shit that you can buy on the counter at Walgreens or Rite Aid today. Yeah. The intent was to be a replacement for pseudoephedrine that is just slightly harder to get. There's only really one problem with phenylephrine because it's perfectly safe. Yeah. We don't know of any reason that it's not safe. It's a safe product.
But also so is water.
By the way, you're basically making the argument that it's probably less efficacious than a sugar pill. A sugar pill will at least give you diabetes if you take enough of them. It'll do something. Well, not what you want, but something.
Well, you can drown in water. There are problems with water. Water's not perfect. I'm not saying it's perfect.
It could be slippery. I get it. You could be slippery. The problem with phenylephrine, again, it's safe. It just doesn't work. It doesn't actually do anything. And we talked about this on the show. I was really fascinated about a couple things. One, how it got to come into existence, which is through this thing called the OTC monograph. And then some studies that were done around this saying, oh, this shit just doesn't work. And information was published. It was sent to the FDA, and the FDA just didn't do anything with it.
That's absolutely crazy.
If they were being lobbied or if they just didn't get around to it. I mean, the FDA does have some real serious shit they have to contend with, which is probably going to get worse in the coming years.
Sure.
But specifically, this one thing they just did not touch. I am very pleased to tell our listeners that in November of this year, 2024,
last month,
more than a year after its advisory panel unanimously declared the drug phenylephrine to be useless against nasal congestion, the FDA is proposing that it be removed from common over-the-counter over-the-counter decongestants.
Yay.
This is awesome, right? Like, we did it. Nonsense did it. Because of us.
I'm sure it was just us.
It might have also had something to do with the Non-Prescription Drug Advisory Committee, which met last year, September of 2023. They voted unanimously that the current scientific data does not support that the monograph dosage or oral PE is effective as a nasal decongestant. So basically,
Sure.
the FDA is doing the right thing. That's all good news, right? We're moving in the right direction.
A little bit them, but mostly us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I assume primarily us, but I here's the thing. As part of this proposed order, they're allowing a comment period through May of 2025, which I fully plan on submitting some nonsense comments to this.
Might as well.
And then if the order goes through, if it's finalized.
6 months is huge, though.
Right? But listen to this.
For a drug that does nothing, that doesn't have any effect.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're waiting for. I don't know who's going to chime in and be like, no, it worked once. I had this one time.
Well, there will be some placebo cases where people will think it will have worked. Yeah.
So if you don't like the 6-month comment period, you're really not going to like the fact that if approved, this doesn't go into effect for 1 year from the day that it's published.
Why is that? We have all agreed at the end of the comment, this doesn't work. Well, let's just sell it for 1 more year.
Yeah, exactly.
Rite Aid has a lot of stock in the back room. Let's let them clear that out.
Don't you think they have some sort of obligation just to be like, well, the FDA has finally said that this doesn't work. You probably shouldn't buy it.
More than that. More than you probably shouldn't buy it. Stop selling it for that purpose.
Yeah. I mean, at least put up one of those little signs. And if you can't read the sign, if you have one of those little like IKEA diagrams on it that tells you not to take it, little fat guy. Sure. If none of that works on you, then like, okay, go ahead and buy it. No, it is kind of nuts. So what this means is that it'd be almost certainly no sooner than the second half of 2026 when this would be pulled off the market. That's just how long that's going to take.
At least it's in progress. I mean, it's crazy that it's going to take that long, but at least it's in progress.
Until we get those Doge guys in there to speed it along, make it super efficacious. They'll pull that and insulin off the market at the same time.
We did a story about Waymo.
Oh, yeah.
In April. And it was about how autonomous vehicles and the things they were doing and the testing they were doing. Well, they are now testing autonomous vehicles on the freeways in Phoenix.
Yeah.
They have not been. They've been on surface streets up until now. Now they're going to be on freeways.
Surface streets where? So I know they've been in SF, they're in LA, they're in
San
Phoenix.
Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Austin.
Sure.
Austin, Texas.
I want to believe you. The biggest problem with getting these Waymos to work on the freeway was they had to like automate some, because there's no driver in the car, right? There's a driver that can take over, but it's L4 automation. So car is being driven without any humans in it if there's no passengers. The biggest problem with getting them to work on the freeway is they didn't have a way to communicate to other drivers that you're an asshole. So they had to come up with like an automated like finger flip off, like a robot flip off system.
A little robot hand comes up and flips them off.
There's like a little hologram. Nice. Little robot hand comes out. It just flips you the bird.
On the LED screen that puts your initials when you hail the cab, a little hand comes up.
It just comes up with a hand.
It flips people off. Yeah.
But by the way, like if I was driving on the freeway and a robot flipped me off, I think I would laugh. I think I would just be like, isn't that the most cutest, adorable little thing?
Hopefully you'd stop doing whatever the offending thing was that caused me to flip
fuck that, man. This is my lane. Get the fuck out of my lane. I own this lane.
Other news, Waymo is now open to everyone in Los Angeles. It's no longer just for beta users. They operate around 100 autonomous vehicles. They used to have 50. They're up to 100.
And if you live in Los Angeles, I would strongly suggest you go try one of these. They are extremely cool. I need like an option where I can tell it not just like temperature of the cabin. I want to know, like, make it smell like Drakkar or like old cigarette butts. Like I need that. Can I have really loud music that I don't understand any of the words in? I need that.
You can change the music to whatever you want.
But I need like a little mystery.
Yeah, but you want to do smells.
Like way too much cologne. Like you can't do one pump. It's only 20 pumps or 40 pumps. I want to get in and just be assaulted in the face with smells.
Sure.
And also I really do wish, oh man, we should do this. We should go take Waymos in the city of LA. And when we're in there, we should put on the driver's seat those little beaded pads.
On the empty driver's seat.
On the driver's seat, exactly. Could you imagine when a Waymo pulls up, it's got the beaded pad on it? Oh, that would make me so happy.
General Motors Robotaxi service Cruise had its license revoked by California regulators and had to end its service in San Francisco, its taxi service, amid safety concerns.
They really missed an opportunity to name that taxi service Tom.
Why would they have wanted to call it Tom?
Tom, by Cruise.
Okay.
No? Hey, how'd you get here? Tom Cruise. I took a Tom Cruise. I don't care. Give 0 fucks. The only way that you can propel the car forward is you got to bounce up and down in your seat. You got to just bounce up and that's how it goes.
Jump up and down on the couch.
You got to jump up and down on the couch and be very excited.
They're still trying to make their Cruise into some
autonomous vehicle. Yeah. They're just getting on the robotaxi business. Yep.
Yeah. Right. But they've scaled back their aspirations.
Yeah.
Tesla is, we also heard about they're doing their own taxi service.
Right.
That was supposed to be driven by AI.
Sure.
And apparently they're trying to hire people to remotely pilot their cars. That's not really AI.
Yeah. I still think it's for the L4 escalation. I think we read a little too much into that, but I don't think they're going to have a bunch of people just driving around. But who knows? They did it at their unveiling. They have people running the Optimus robots, but what do I know?
Yeah, they did it with the Optimus robots. And also,
if you watch the BTS video when one of those cars was driving around, you heard it sneeze. They're like, what was that? Some other guy said, bless you behind it. That car just sneezed? No, that definitely wasn't Tom in a bunker in Las Vegas.
I don't think the cars were not AI driven. Weren't they? It was just the robots. It was the
How
Optimus
would you ever
robots that
know?
were
I don't know. I assume
controlled by humans.
I have no idea. I assume it was.
I think the AI thing that it was doing driving around Warner Brothers just wasn't that complicated.
Yeah, but think of the dozens of people that need automated rides around the back lot at Warner Brothers. It's a huge market, measured in hundreds of dollars a year.
$200 billion market, you said.
Yeah, exactly. $300 of that is the Warner Brothers back lot. They're just starting small. You don't want to go big. You want to go small and go up market.
Elon Musk has said he hopes the company can get the required regulatory clearances to operate in Texas and California by next year.
I'm sure that'll be fine. Just don't kill people. I'm afraid they're going to leave that little spot blank on the application. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen.
People you've killed?
Well, yeah, there's you have to tell the name of the company, how many vehicles you have, how many people have you injured or maimed or killed with your vehicle, and just be let's leave that blank.
They don't give up the video.
Yeah, of course.
Tesla doesn't give up the video of the accidents.
Why would they want to?
And there's a guy who's now hacking the computers from those cars.
To pull them off?
Yes, you can see on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
You can see tons of videos.
That's cool.
One of the crazy things was in the Tesla cars, of course, it's not using LiDAR. It's using these little cameras.
A hope sensor.
The cameras, there's 3 cameras facing forward.
Yeah.
And they're not even aligned among themselves.
Sure.
So to one camera, the truck that's going by looks like it's floating 20 feet off the ground.
Sure.
Because the cameras are not precisely aligned.
In the source code, the name of the algorithm is best guess.
Not even a very good guess.
There's a comment. And then you look at the algorithm, and the algorithm is just literally RAND. Like, what?
Yeah, sure.
That's how you're making decisions?
There's horrible videos of one of the cameras, of course, seeing that there's an overturned truck on the freeway, and the other camera not seeing it at all because it's night.
Yeah.
And full speed, they drive into this.
Oh,
thing.
jeez.
It's horrific, the videos.
It's like the old cartoon where you've got a good angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. Like the one camera is like, oh no, there's a truck in the road. You should stop. And the other's like, fuck it, speed up. This coffee's getting cold. I mean, at some point, I assume in my lifetime, I'm going to own a vehicle that has at least L4, if not L5 driving capabilities. I'd also like it to have a cartridge-based system, like the old Nintendo NES, where I can load in different driving personalities.
Sure.
And for as much as I want to own Michael Schumacher, I want to just leave in Morgan Freeman and driving Miss Daisy at all times.
Sure.
And that's it. And he's just very
nice
pleasant.
And slow, just relaxed.
And he's very nice.
Kind of what
just
driving it around in a Waymo is like.
Kind of lovely. Just kind of you know what? I want my kids to be alive when we get there. And then when the kids are out of the car and I've had a couple drinks, then I'll go throw in Lewis Hamilton and see what happens. You're gonna have that one friend, probably me, who gets in and sets it to Thelma and Louise every time.
Yeah, right.
Oh, fuck, here we go. Here, hold my hand. That's what triggers this.
Amazon also has their own self-driving autonomous car company,
Zoox.
They're hoping to begin offering driverless rides to the general public in Las Vegas at some point in the next year before also launching in San Francisco.
They already own Zappos. Aren't they out of Z names? Or is that just Google that does that?
That's Alphabet. Yeah, just can have the 26 companies.
Amazon doesn't care.
Amazon doesn't care. But the Amazon Zoox vehicles, if you haven't seen them, they're really cool. They don't have a front or a back. There's no driver's seat. They've literally invented their own. I mean, the Waymo cars are just Jaguars. And eventually they're going to be some
something
other
else.
electric car.
Yeah.
The Zoox is a car that they have made. It's a vehicle that they've made, and it has no front or back.
Yeah, I'm always a little nervous when you make a vehicle and you don't make a lot of vehicles. I like the idea of it being sort of ambidextrous, and I guess what would you call it? Bidirectional? Does it identify as bidirectional?
It identifies as bidirectional. Yes, it
makes
does.
sense. It's just when it lines up the other cars, it's like, hey, which way do you want to face? And it's like none of your business.
It's not important to you.
Face wherever I want. I love the automated car, or I love the automated driving. I do think we're going to continue to see a bunch of big improvements in this in the coming months and years.
You've probably heard there's a big drought in Europe and elsewhere in the Mediterranean, and it's caused lower yields of olives.
Yes.
And so it's tightened global olive oil supplies.
Yes.
If you haven't heard that, maybe you've noticed that olive oil prices are at historic numeric highs.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of these organizations all around the world who are now claiming to test so that they can boost consumers' confidence in the authenticity of the olive oil that they may buy, because everyone is afraid with prices going up, they're going to adulterate the oil with other types of oils so that they can sell more of what they say is olive oil, but it isn't really olive oil.
First of all, if you have a desire to adulter some oil, now is the time to do it, because Diddy's getting all the attention for adulterated oil. So now you could do it, slip it right under the radar.
Adulterated, yes.
What did I say? Adulterated?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Words are hard. I know what you're doing now. This is a story we did. This was the end of last season, right? Season 1. Yeah. We did this story in December. Yeah, about the olive oil from California.
Olive oil all over the place.
Being basically the only legit olive oil.
There's all sorts of cheating in olive oil all around the world.
Of course. It is fascinating. Just tell the truth. This is not that fucking hard. Did it come from olives, or did it come from motor oil? That's all you got to do.
Hopefully not motor oil. Sure.
That's it.
California olive oil is produced under a program of mandatory government sampling and testing to verify it's meeting its strict quality standards, not during times when it's expensive, not during times when it's all the time, without exception.
Yeah.
In California, you know what you're getting is California olive oil. That is exactly what it says on the label, whatever type of oil it is, because in California, you and I talk about this when we talk about companies, CEOs who have data breaches.
Yeah.
And they just pay a fine because it's cheaper than actually protecting their data. Of
course.
It's just easier to write a check and pay the fine.
Pay the fine.
And you and I always talk about it should be criminal.
Yeah.
That's really the only way that these things are ever going to get enforced.
Yeah.
When California, if you mislabel a bottle of olive oil, it's literally criminal.
Totally.
It's not a civil matter. It's a criminal matter.
I just can't wait for the Dick Wolf Law and Order IT division show where he's like, what are you in for? And he's like, oh, fucking MySQL breach. Like, that's what I want to see.
I'm in for mislabeling olive oil.
This is frustrating because there's going to be a non-zero number of people who are going to listen to this show and they're going to text me at 5:30 fucking a.m. Pacific time later today when this show airs, and they're going to say the following: "Oh, California, big regulation, blah, 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 the olive oil." And I'm like,
the farmers wanted the regulation so that the world could trust them and say, this is really oil.
But there's going to be some guy who's like, yeah, I'd like to sell an olive oil, linseed oil blend, and I can't do it in California now.
Not if it's labeled solely as olive oil.
And that's like anti-competitive. I'm like,
it's what the farmers wanted. They wanted you to have to
but it's
sell.
also what the people want.
Well, I'm sure it's what the people wanted too, but the farmers are the ones who lobbied and got this thing through.
It's pro-consumer. I like what it says in the label to be what I actually consume.
It doesn't help the swindlers.
Yeah.
No, it's not helping the swindlers, the people who are lying to you about what they're selling.
But my point is, people are going to bitch about big regulation over this, and it just drives me fucking crazy. And I can't wait for your text messages. I'm not trying to sit here and justify all regulation, but some of it works.
Right.
They have plenty of ways to grift. Just don't do it with my food. Maybe they could sell olive oil Bibles.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Extra virgin, 432.
Is that a verse number, a chapter number?
I think so. I think it's a verse number.
It's the Christmas story.
It's the Christmas story.
Extra virgin 432.
I don't recognize any of these men.
Now I'm going to change the subject and talk about technology changing sports.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
We have an update on that story.
Sure.
Yes.
This was This was season 1, episode 39, I think, if my memory serves me correctly.
Long time ago. But it was a lot of things have changed. Some have not changed at all. Athlete training with technology has changed. Fan engagement has changed. Advances in sports injury diagnostics have allowed medical professionals in the sports industry to evaluate athletes quicker and get them back on the field as soon as possible. Better yet, new technology has allowed trainers and coaches to prevent injuries from happening in the first place. We've seen a boost in the integration of cutting-edge tools. For example, there's high-tech mouth guards that have been created with built-in sensors that notify an athlete of when it may be time to take a breather.
That's cool.
They light up after a head impact,
Interesting.
glowing red for a devastating head blow or blue for medium-degree impacts.
That's super cool. I mean, any tech that can make sports safer, I'm definitely for. That makes sense to me. I mean, your biggest problem with this special mouth guard you're talking about is just getting the guys to fucking use it.
Oh, sure.
Like, look at hockey players. You can barely get them to put a regular mouth guard in, let alone one they got to charge.
Basketball players always have them dangling out of their mouths, and it's gross.
Yeah.
You know we televise these games, right?
Sure.
Put the thing in your mouth.
Sure.
Did you see the Olympics over the summer?
Yes, the Olympics of the summer were great.
That was technology being used to make the experience of watching the Olympics. You could see any sport event available at any time. And replay, pause, go back, have multi-view sports.
And more importantly, it worked. It just fucking worked.
NBC slammed dunked this thing.
They really did a great job.
Absolutely wonderful.
I really desperately want a world that is more like that. It seems like you still have a lot of these sort of Byzantine contracts that teams are trying to unwind from that just make it harder to be a fan.
Yeah, well, sure.
I mean, how many times have I not been able to watch a SC game because the Pac-12 has some shitty fucking deal with Spectrum, or a Dodgers game or something? And it's like, really, guys? Like, why is this so terrible? It really doesn't need to be that terrible.
USC game, the first game of the season, ABC was not being carried by DirecTV at that moment, so I couldn't see it.
So you just get like a fucking camera put on a court reporter who's doing drawings of the game. And you're like, this is not the way I want it. It's 2024, for Christ's sake. I just want to see the goddamn game.
Technology's made some inroads into sports in some unlikely places. Probably the most corrupt sport of all. Can I say this is FIFA?
Oh, sure.
The soccer people. The World Cup video assistant referee makes their games now more fair. And it's been adopted by other leagues, including the Premier League.
That is Jeff Parker saying that. Jeff Parker, the other guy not saying anything bad about FIFA, who don't want to be whacked, is CJ Little. I just beat up on the NHL, which nobody cares about except for some angry Canadians.
I'm praising FIFA because they've adopted the video assistant referee, which is great. It makes it so that the referees make a lot less errors. It's amazing.
But if you send a couple BTC to their Venmo account, all of a sudden it rules in your team's favor.
Maybe.
It's just a pay to play, so you put the coin in the slot.
Take a look at, on the other hand, AI is fast enough now to call basketball fouls with near perfect consistency.
Oh, boy.
But the NBA won't use the technology. They don't even use the technology that could let them accurately tell when someone is in or out of bounds touchdowns on a line.
I think I know this one. Was it because the technology was like, oh yeah, that guy got slapped. Oh wow, it's a foul. Like was the technology was just so saddened by how, because it's the same tech that does like the hockey games.
Sure.
And it's like that dude just took a puck at 80 miles an hour. Meanwhile, LeBron gets like skimmed on his head, and all of a sudden he's flailing around on the ground looking for a foul.
It doesn't really matter how hard the fouls are or how soft the fouls are, so long as they're called evenly on both sides. That's the part you care about.
You can set it. Oh my God, you are a genius. At the start of the game, they should decide what level they want to play. Like, do you want peaceful? Do you want like medium? Or do you want like Mad Max? Like, those should be the 3 settings that you get to pick.
You don't go to enough basketball games. If you went to basketball games, you would know the first 5 minutes, that's what the players are all gauging.
Oh, really?
How harshly are these refs going to call this game?
Yeah, but that's hard because 5 minutes in, I'm already nodding off. So it's hard for me to, like, maybe if you could just maybe tap my arm, tell me to wake up a little bit.
Let's talk about a sport that really puts you to sleep. The MLB is still dragging their feet on what is now, regardless of what the league otherwise claims, the simplest of improvements, and that is computers calling balls and strikes.
Okay, you alluded to something we haven't talked about yet. I love to bag on the MLB. I got to say, they've made some improvements that I think have really made that sport better for somebody like me who has ADD. And
Sure. They've sped things up.
Yeah. No, they have.
For sure.
So do more of this. Really do more of this. Like, it is kind of crazy to me that you watch these great long shots from center field that you've got on the catcher, and like you see the pitch and you see the ball and you see the spin and all this crazy shit.
Yep.
And then yet I see the ball be like 6 inches outside the strike zone.
Sure.
And the ump's like, strike. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
Is the graphic in the wrong place? Is the ball in the wrong place? Is the guy just calling his favorites? Does he have like a debt with his bookie? Like, what's happening here?
The MLB claims that this is such a difficult thing to have a computer call ball and strikes.
Yeah.
Other leagues are using it just fine.
Other baseball leagues?
Absolutely.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Oh, for sure. It's not even a very difficult piece of technology. This is not like calling a foul in a basketball game evenly. This is so simple. There are boundaries. There are lines for precisely what is a ball and what is a strike.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, I'd support this.
Sure.
I'd also support even though purists hated it, remember the, what was it called, the Fox track? The tail that they'd put on the hockey puck when somebody would like have a slap shot?
That was great for standard def.
I thought that was great.
I don't need it for high def. I can see hockey in high def.
Oh, yeah, okay. Is that better for you?
Makes
No?
a big difference for me. Makes it much more viewable.
I've never had the problem because if you've played hockey for more than a minute or watched it really for more than a minute.
Because you know where the players are looking.
You just know where the puck is. You just look where the player's looking is where the puck is. You don't have to see the actual puck.
Sure.
You sort of know what's going to happen.
We're going to move on to the AGI update, artificial general intelligence.
Oh, yeah. Talked about this a lot.
We've made some advancements.
I mean, I feel like you could pick any random 3 episodes of nonsense and at least 2 of them would have us talking about AI in both seasons.
For sure, because there have been so many leaps forward.
Yeah, so this is sort of nuts. I wanted to pull some general stats from 2024. Now, the global AI market this year was valued at over $279 billion. That's up $80 billion since the start of the year, which is bananas, right? Just how big it is.
Tell me about this valuation. I don't see any AI companies actually making profit.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're making money.
So it seems like valuation is sort of pulled out of whole cloth.
Well, yeah, it's definitely pulled out of whole cloth. But you're making some assumptions of what it could be, which again, I agree with you is whole cloth. But that's the state that you're in. You're in this like, I don't know what it could be. It could be giant. I think you've got some pretty smart analysts that are looking at existing businesses and saying, well, if you can apply, I'm making this up, 15% revenue growth and 10% cost savings, that's a 25% increase in margin. And we can apply that out across these industries and say it's worth X, like as what the impact could be in the business. And I think that does back into some modicum of valuation, but you need belief.
To me, you know what that sounds like?
Snake oil?
To me, that sounds like we're all watching a parade go by.
We are.
And someone decides I could see better if I stood on my tiptoes.
Okay.
So he stands on his tiptoes, requiring everyone behind him now
Stand on his tiptoes.
to stand on their tiptoes.
That depends on where you're sitting.
The competitive...
If I'm sitting behind him, I throw my fucking beer at that guy, and then he sits right the fuck down, and we all go back to sitting.
Fantastic.
And it just cost me $18 in the beer.
The competitive aspect of what is happening with AI means the things you are doing that are going to give you a little more margin, everybody is going to do those exact same things. And now we're all back to where we started.
Maybe.
Except now we have sore ankles.
Okay, I'm lost in the analog.
Because we're all standing on our tiptoes.
But you need competition. You need multiples doing the same thing. That's what helps you achieve this insanity rate.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying to get these valuations, you're sort of implying there's not going to be competition that does the same thing.
There will be competition that's the same thing. I don't think anyone's saying that there must be only one winner in this all.
Yeah.
I do think we'll see a lot of consolidation, right? We saw this in the technology that supported the internet 20, 30 years ago. You had, telecom providers that were going bananas. WorldCom was a fucking thing, let alone a valuable thing.
Right.
And the global crossings of the world, and everyone's trying to figure it out, right? Like, is it going to be global crossing? Is it going to be level 3? Is it going to be Akamai? Who's the winner going to be? Certainly not all of them made it.
It's going to be this guy over here selling books.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
How'd that happen?
It's not going to work. Yeah, got this weird little bald guy running around selling books. I don't know what to do with it. And he's just like...
How's that going to end up being the guy guy who makes the best self-driving car. I mean,
Yeah.
all the things that they do over there. How's this guy going to make some of the best rocket technology?
I'd argue that he executed on Michael Dell's vision, right? Like that was all about just being delivery.
Yeah.
And like the product didn't matter. And Dell started that and did a great job with it. They just stayed sort of narrowly in the IT sector.
Sure.
And it is fascinating. I mean, I'm sure someone's written some good stories about this, but how they started with books, which at the time, I mean, I was there with you and I was like, these things are big and heavy and expensive to ship.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you start with books? But then you go, oh, well, you've got this like damn near infinite collection. There's no way you can get access to an infinite collection. So why not provide that? And then you go, oh yeah, now you're the store for everything.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think it clicked in my brain until like the late 2000s, probably around the time that Prime came out. And I was like, oh, now I'm just hooked into the ecosystem. Now I just buy everything from you.
Do you think he figured it out? Do you think Jeff Bezos, when he was first starting out with books, thought, I'm not going to stick with books. Books just gets me in the door?
Great question. I don't really know. I assume that there was some modicum of thought around moving beyond books. I can't believe he saw everything that they've done now.
Could he have seen AWS even? The fact that they're making
That's the one.
more money, or at least
That's
as
the
much
one.
money as they are from selling products.
So yes, if you read, I still haven't gotten through all his shareholder letters, but some of his early ones where they especially talks about AWS as being like, this is the thing. And I really do believe that was emergent behavior because they had all this gear that they were rotating out, kind of throwing away, as a lot of providers were at the time.
Sure.
And it's like, this is still valuable gear. And my understanding is that initially AWS was basically built on remnant gear. And then once they realized like this explosion was happening with or without AWS in technology companies and startups, like, oh wait,
Yeah.
we can support those guys and give them infrastructure with economies of scale and then introduce margin on that and make a shit ton of money. And now
they basically own the web services market. You drop down to number 2, which is what? Microsoft. It's a pretty good drop.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Microsoft's taking a big chunk out of that for sure. And then Google, I mean, for sure. But if you went back 20 years, right? Let's say, 20
I'm saying
years
even now,
ago,
look at the numbers today. Amazon is so far ahead.
Yeah.
Certainly far ahead of Google. They're far ahead of Microsoft.
No, but I'm saying if you went back 20 years and you said, who's going to run the infrastructure for, technology companies in 20 years? And you can pick 3. I don't think anybody would have picked Amazon in their top 3. It would have been like,
never.
I'm not sure you would have picked Google. It would have been like Microsoft, IBM, Apple was kind of on the ropes then, like SGI or Sun. It would have been something like that.
Yeah.
And some of those now are shells of themselves. And somehow Amazon, the guys that bring you books and cheap wrapping paper, they're the ones that control
figured it
or
out.
provide. Yeah, which is really fascinating. But anyway, we digress. Your question was, how do you value the market? And I think the answer is you don't know. There's a lot of speculation in that. And there's some magic 8-ball. But based on that same sort of bullshit valuation metric.
It kind of helps to have the most capital.
Well, same thing with like robotaxis. Once you get to tech, I really think the guy with the most capital wins.
Yeah.
And same thing here in this AI race.
Unless the government sues you and breaks you apart.
Yeah.
Barring that, the most capital is going to win this war.
I mean, that might be part of the race here too, is who can race to get there fast enough before they get broken apart. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really fascinating. You're looking at the AI industry. The value of the whole industry is projected to increase by over 6 times in the next 6 years.
Wow.
That brings you to a total of $1.8 trillion by 2030, right? The AI market is expanding its compound annual growth rate of over 37% between 2022 and 2030. That's the projection.
Sure.
That is bananas, right? I think you look at that and you go, that's why it's got a high valuation, because this is going to have this massive expansion. By next year, as many as 97 million people will work in the AI space.
Yeah.
Which came first, that or the money?
Sure.
The answer is probably both. It really is chicken and egg. But something like 83% of companies claim that AI is a top priority in their business plans going forward.
Understandable.
Netflix.
Humans are expensive. It's much cheaper not to have a human driver. It's much
of course.
cheaper to have your taxi drive itself.
But take this with a grain of salt. Netflix makes $1 billion annually from automated personalization recommendations.
How do we know that?
I think they break it out.
Oh, wow.
I think they break it out or mention somewhere.
They break out almost nothing.
I've seen this number floated before around like the value of their recommendation engine, because they've done several like prizes, like X Prize-esque, where like, if you could make this better, we'll fork over some cash.
That's cool.
Almost half of businesses already use some form of AI to utilize big data effectively.
Sure.
38% of medical providers are using computers as part of their diagnosis, which is impressive to me.
Yeah.
This year, 2024, 75% of the Y Combinator companies, so their latest cohort was summer of 2024, were focused on AI.
I'm sure.
3/4 of them were AI. Not surprised, right?
Yeah.
The wearable AI market is expected to reach over $180 billion next year.
Tell me what a wearable AI device is.
I think you're talking about
It's
anything
that microphone that I talk into and it records everything I say.
but I think even your watch, even the thing you talked about earlier, right? It's got some modicum of AI in it and is a wearable. All of those things, basically AI applied applied to you, like arguably Singularity version 0.6,
Sure.
that's almost a $200 billion a year industry. That's bananas. The belief is that AI tech can increase revenue by over $15 trillion by the end of the decade.
Wow.
That was PwC, by the way, which, I got a modicum of trust in.
Who's PwC?
PricewaterhouseCoopers.
There you go.
And then they sort of expect the GDP of local economies to be boosted by an additional 26% as part of this.
Because productivity goes up that much. I mean, because we're able to offload so much human capital, no longer having to do those tasks.
That part doesn't surprise me. The part that surprises me is the rate of change on this. It's how fast we're getting there. We've seen this same pattern before with like farming. You and I always go to farming. I think it's an easy one to understand.
Yeah.
But it took a couple generations to get from I'm out there working the fields with my family. I need to have 7 kids to work the farm.
Right.
And like, okay, you get a tractor instead of horses, and then you get some more equipment. Now you can go a little wider. So it took sort of generations.
Suddenly your tractor has GPS and doesn't require a person in the cab. Yeah.
Exactly. If we were to reshoot Bill and Ted's, let's just go back and get a fucking farmer and bring them here and be like, hey, check this out. Like that guy's head's going to explode.
And he's also going to wonder what we're going to do with all these people. What are we going to put these people to work doing? How are they going to make money?
Well, yeah, right. And they're not all
We find things for them to do. We do eventually find things for them to do, and they make our lives better because they're not having to focus on just working on the farm.
But if you can age out, you sort of generationally in the thing that you knew how to do. So you were raised a farmer, you can sort of keep farming until your end of days. It's a hell of a lot easier to transition than if someone who is trying to age out and they're like, I am a copywriter for a real estate company. And I'm like, buddy, you are not going to retire in that job. There's no chance. Right. And that I do think that I've said this before. That is one of the biggest lessons that we have to teach our kids and all the young people is like, you need to be able to adapt.
You need to learn because
it's changing so fast. You got to learn to learn.
You need to learn efficiently.
If there's any one thing I can teach you, it's how to learn, because that's going to be the thing you have to continue to do. So if you have that curiosity, you have that desire to learn, you're going to most likely do much better, because whatever you're going to be doing in 20 years, we don't even know what the fuck that is right now.
Yeah.
Like we have no idea, and if you were like, go back in time 30, 40 years and be like, you know what? I really like this. I'm a little introverted. I like running this little hut, this little yellow hut. I sell film to people. Everyone loves it. People come and talk to me. It's going to be great. I'm going to do this forever. And then 10 years later, you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. This was interesting.
Like you're lucky if you can sell batteries now.
All right. So those are some updates on some stories that we talked about earlier. Now we got to get out of here quickly before we do. Have you seen or read anything good this week, sir?
Well, keeping with my theme from, season 1 and season 2 that I can only describe as short form recommendations by and for the ADHD crowd. That's how I sort of think of my recommendations.
Okay.
I'm going to end this season with what has been one of my favorite things to watch all year in the short form YouTube no plot category.
Okay.
And that is, I don't think I've said this to you. This is Sophia Tung. So she's an engineer and a self-described, quote, micromobility enthusiast by nature.
Okay.
She's worked at Twitter. She built Nitrogen, which is a port of the multi-platform Nintendo DS emulator to iOS and Android. And she built Leaf, which is like this alternate Twitter client. But none of that is how I found Sophia.
Backtrack. What is micromobility? She's a micromobility enthusiast.
Yeah. She's think like really tiny mobile devices. So she's actually working now on a startup that she's running that is like the little scooters, like the little like bird scooters.
Okay.
Except these do 70 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Which is fucking petrifying to me.
Yes.
And that's how I know I'm old. Like I love speed and I love going fast. And I'm like, I am not doing 70 on a scooter. Like,
forget doing 70, being the pedestrian and seeing the scooter coming at you at 70 miles an hour.
At 70, sure. Well, no, you're in the street at that point. Like you're riding this thing in the street.
I hope.
That's not how I found her.
Okay.
She set up a live stream this past summer showing self-driving Waymo cars honking from the San Francisco parking lot near her apartment at all hours of the night.
Oh, sure.
This is when the cars would come in and like they would want to be very safe and they would just sort of honk the horn at the other car, which is another Waymo car.
In a Waymo lot. They're all being courteous of each other.
Just happened to be next to where she lives. So she posted this video. She posted a lot, but she posted this one video with a description, quote, you know how when the plane lands and everybody rushes to get up all at once thinking they'll somehow get off the plane faster, but all it does is cause traffic in the aisles and slow everyone down? Yeah. So this is all the Waymos waking up at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome to watch. Now, they've fixed this. So Waymo is a kind of apology for the nuisance. They threw an ice cream party at Tung's building.
Oh, that's great.
They gave Tung some promo codes redeemable for free rides.
Wonderful.
And they may have underestimated underestimated her though, right? Because after giving a few friends some codes, Tung realized the codes weren't capped in value. So she determined she'd use her last one to ride in a Waymo for like 24 hours. So she visited like tourist destinations like Golden Gate Park. She went to Chinatown. She went to Twin Peaks. 83 miles, 6.5 hours later, her Waymo ended with like 20 miles left, cutting short her plans.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun though.
I think that is just awesome. And the video is just really fun to watch because it's just this emergent behavior where they all wake up and they all start driving and it's just like a clusterfuck.
Sure.
And if you do watch this video, which I hope you do, watch, there's one that drives to the exit and it's ready to leave and it's like, oh no, this is way too fun. And it turns and goes back into the melee. And that one just like, that's my spirit Waymo car right there. Sure. The one who was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going back into the mix. And it just made me giggle. So it's a really fun video. It's very light. It'll take you all of 3 minutes to watch.
That's awesome.
And I loved it. How about you?
Remember the Night. I was looking for a Christmas movie that we haven't all seen 100 times, and boy, did I find a fun one. Barbara Stanwyck and Fred McMurray in a 1940 American Christmas romantic comedy written by Preston Sturges.
I don't know any of these people.
These people are all dead before you were born. It's a film from another era. Literally, at one point, the story stops so Fred and Barbara can take turns playing the piano.
How does that work?
They just decide, I play the piano, and he plays a little song. And then she goes, well, I happen to also play the piano, so she plays a little song. And we're like, oh, wow, where'd the movie go?
Was it like written into the script, or did they just riff it?
It's in the script.
Sure.
It's just you wouldn't think they would slow the movie down that much while they just showed off their piano skills. But it's delightful.
Sure.
More importantly, it is a road picture, a courtroom drama, and a Cinderella story all at once. If you haven't seen it, don't read anything about it. Just take the ride as it unfolds. A charming surprise. Remember the Night on Plex now.
Oh, you're plugging Plex. I love it. Yeah. I'm going to definitely check that out.
The commercial breaks are like an hour long.
All those freemium services.
They're so long.
They're so long.
And it may just be that I'm just used to not having commercial breaks.
You are.
But wow, they just seem like, how did we do this before?
When I use like my laptop and common products that I use, when I use them on someone else's network where there is no ad blocking, I'm like, wow, this internet sucks.
Is awful.
What is this?
Yeah, exactly.
You do this every day? Oh, fuck. This is terrible.
The quantity of wasted data that's coming down your internet pipeline.
Remember the Night. I will check that out on my Plex subscription.
Yes. I also want to give a plug for Indiana football. IU at Notre Dame, 5 p.m. Pacific on Friday. Fun, fun, fun. That is the episode.
Oh, please, Indiana. Please beat those asshats. Do what SC couldn't and beat Notre Dame. Thank you for joining us for All This Nonsense, a truly terrible podcast from The Awful Company. Visit us on the web at nonsense.productions. I'm Chilo.
I'm Jeff Parker.
If you like this program, please follow, download, subscribe, and like at Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, AntennaPod, iHeartRadio, Spotify, My Favorite Overcast, or wherever you may get your podcasts from.
Nonsense uses Signal Messenger. There's no such thing as secure messaging on software that's not open source. Signal, strongly encrypted open source messaging. Check it out. Special thanks to our floor director, Ryan Pfeiffer.
Thanks, Wi-Fi. We'll be here every Thursday morning for more nonsense. Please join us. I feel like I need a New Year's tradition. I just don't know what it is. We're going to watch Die Hard 1 through 3. I'll see if I can get my kids to say, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. That'll be great going back to school. Hey, buddy, get on the bus. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Oh, boy. All right, I'll just go home and wait for the call from school.